I'm gonna switch us to a playlist of Hollow Knight OST actually. But let me know if it's too loud in comparison to my voice. It's a little loud on my end, so I might touch it just to adjust it. And that should be good. But we'll see, we'll see. Anyway, I'm switching this over to chatting really quick. It looks like the chat's back too. If City of Tears comes on, then I can play it on the piano alongside stream. That would be awesome. Hornet said Shaw in the teaser. I was gonna say, some people were asking if we were playing Hollow Knight tonight, or playing Silksong. We're not actually playing, we're gonna be drawing. And that's because with trying to get Lyca's Comet up to date and ready to come back, I've been drawing the comic a little more than I have anything else. Ooh, my voice. I got jump scared by my voice. And so I'm a little behind on my print clubs where I'd like to be. So we're actually going to be working on my print club piece tonight. Why so sad? Oh, I'm just playing Hollow Knight music. Also, hold on, let me turn off the ad bumper. For some reason it's still there. The music in the background is actually from Hollow Knight. The No I'm Not Human VOD isn't on your Twitch. I wanted to watch it the other day, but it wasn't there. Thank you for letting me know. I can unprivate it. I keep forgetting to do that, but for whatever reason, a lot of, or not a lot of, but all of the VODs on Twitch go private rather than being publicized. Also, this is the thumbnail that I had so far for the print club piece. This was done on my iPad actually, but the only thing is I'm not sure if I like it. One of the things that I've been noticing a lot with my illustrations is I can get a concept across and I can fill the canvas, but sometimes the intention with my canvas, or like how intentionally I use the space, I'm not enjoying it as much. So what I'm gonna do is, instead of just hopping right into working on the piece, I'm actually going to do some warm-up drawings, specifically of Hornet and then some Monstera leaves, because that's what I would like to be in the piece. And then I'm going to do thumbnails of different compositions after that. But because I found that the print club pieces that I like the best are the ones that I give myself a lot of time to kind of sit with and cook. Could you private the Sunday VODs? I could, yeah, I can do that. I've also been posting the Sunday VODs, Clownhead. I don't know if you saw on the VODs YouTube. I posted the Apple Fritter Critter one. And then this previous Sunday, I'm trying to remember what we did. I don't think that it was a traditional art stream, though. I could be wrong. But most of the Sunday VODs are up on the VODs channel now. Also, the other reason I wanted to do... It was badge work. That's right, that's right. Oh, I've been complimented by at least 3 older butches today, and I'm charmed by it. Oh, that's awesome. Nice, what are we drawing today? We are drawing Hornet from Silksong. It's been a really long time since I've drawn Hollow Knight and Silksong art, because this was actually one of my favorite things to draw in college for like warm-ups. So I think that it's about time that I start getting to dust off the old bug drawing skills. The other thing that's really funny is the Hollow Knight characters are just like deceptively simple. They look like they'd be really easy to draw, and in some ways they are, but the thing is, if you don't get the shape language of them right, they just look like off. So that's one of the things that I was realizing while I was working on the print club thumbnail. To anyone who'd really like to watch a VOD that isn't up on Twitch yet, most of them can be found on the Four-Leaf Island YouTube, but instead of on Videos tab, they're in the Live tab. Also, yay, song is on, yeah. I love City of Tears. Hold on, I think I put her leg too high. I might recreate the ref. It's funny because you can tell that she definitely is meant, like, they've plotted out where her body is underneath the cloak, which I think helps, and maybe I should start doing that myself. Can I have a yeehaw early? Yeehaw! Your yeehaw for the stream. I'm gonna do some doodles with you guys, that's awesome. This hurts after drawing it though, Youchies. Oh, I definitely would recommend stretching if your wrist hurts after drawing. Why do we yeehaw? I still haven't figured it out. This specific person asks for a yeehaw every single time, and I simply figured I would provide. Why are you just standing there? You look so silly. I'm trying to figure out your shape. Because again, with Hornet, where if you don't draw things intentionally enough, it shows. I can really feel it when things aren't done with purpose with Hornet artwork. The real question is, why have we stopped yeehawing as living creatures? This is true, actually. The other thing is, I've always wanted to practice drawing Hornet, like, underneath her cloak. Because I feel like a lot of people don't take the opportunity to give her, like, armor. Almost like Chinton, or like bug texture, but with armor. Hi, Critter. I can't stick around too long, but while I'm here, I need to know, thoughts on the fleas from Silksong? I think they're very cute. I think they're cute and they're fluffy. I have rescued, I think, like 9 fleas so far. Although, I think calling them meatballs is funny. I always thought they were like fluff balls. I'll stretch now. This is my entertainment while I do so. That's good. That's good. And I was going to say, no shame either. I just want to make sure that you're okay and you'll be able to draw again later. Let's see. I guess if her shoulders are sloped, then you wouldn't get much in the way of shoulder padding. Subtitles are available. Here, let me grab those. Exoskeletons are a lot like armor. I think of it a lot. Exactly, and I think that it's a missed opportunity. People make Hornet... I especially, like, feel that way when people draw Hornet kind of curvy. Like, I don't know. I'm a little bit of a hater because I do like having a girl character that I relate to who is very cool and strong and also, like, doesn't let people be creepy to her. So seeing her drawn very amorized by the fandom, I feel like they miss the purpose of what makes her so fun. Also, she's as flat as a board. Like, when she takes her cape off, like, that's canon. Not a hater, though. Just, it's simply not for me. Yeah, totally. I appreciate it was all worth the wait for some silly fan art. Oh, wait, that was the animation you were talking about. Oh, I'm excited to see. She's a toothpick, exactly. I searched Hornet no cloak and it looks so silly. That ends up happening in Silksong, and it's pretty funny. No, I'm a big hater. There are thick characters literally everywhere. Let my girl be Sticks. I was gonna say, she's here for all of our top surgery girls and trans girls. Like, Hornet is a girl, sure, but she's also a creature. You understand what I mean? Yes, she scuttles. Like, she's a girl that scuttles, and I feel that that's overlooked. Literally, you get an ability that lets you crawl around like a spider. I want to make sure that I'm, like, actually making this in the way that armor would look. Amen to top surgery girls. Me. Representation for me. Really excited to hear that's an ability you can get. I was gonna say, I don't want to, like, spoil too much, but it also makes, like, a scampering noise when you do it. Hold on. I will find a picture. I think this is, like, necessary. Like, for reference, this is the character that we're speaking of here. I really think that it's a miss to draw her like anime lady. She is half spider and half worm, yes. I without spoiling too much from Hollow Knight. There's she is the princess of two different kingdoms. I kind of want to give her like boots almost, in the way that like fencers have boots. Worm, not worm for those who use subtitles. Yes, worm. Different. I have to play Hollow Knight sometime. I love her. I remember very distinctly when I played this game with my little sister. My little sister would say, "It's us," anytime Hornet and the Knight were on screen. And I still, to this day, hold very fond memories of that. Also because she joked that I would tell her to get good when she couldn't beat bosses. She's like, she's just like you for real. And now my little sister is teaching her boyfriend to play Hollow Knight. I feel like a fraud watching this because I haven't played Silksong or much of Hollow Knight. No, that's not a fraud. Honestly, just enjoy being here. And if anything, it's a sign that you can keep playing. They're great games. And the other thing, I think this is true, especially like in our modern times. There's a lot of pressure for people to finish and play games very quickly, and not just games, but any sort of media, to consume it quickly, to move on to the next thing, and then throw down the thing that you've just read. But I think especially with Hollow Knight and Silksong, I've always had this desire to really take my time with them, because there is so much to explore in these games that make them feel very alive. Like, areas that you've previously explored all throughout the game will have new things to go back and re-explore, especially once you get new abilities to traverse new areas. But then even sometimes it's just something new is there. The games are, I think that they're best played if you play them in bite-sized pieces, like at night or before you go to bed. For me, what I've been doing is every time I finish stream, and then sometimes when I wake up in the morning, if I have time, if I'm not going somewhere, I'll try to clear at least one thing in Silksong. So I'll either try to do a boss, or I'll try to get through a specific area that's been challenging me. I think the most recent thing that I did was I just cleared some parts of Sinner's Road, and I freed the very pretty bug that was trapped there, who I think he is important later, but I don't know much about him. I just thought he was pretty, and I thought he had a nice voice, so I let him out. Even though he didn't, even though he said to leave him, and I was like, I don't think so. Favorite bugs? I think I've mentioned it on previous streams, but if you meet Hollow Knight bugs, or Silksong bugs, I had a crush on Quirrell from Hollow Knight, like, for years. And honestly, I don't think that it went away. I think I still have a crush on Quirrell. He's just very handsome. I like his voice. I think that he's a very cute character. For those of you that, Bug Kisser, I've never claimed to be anything else. Hold on. I have never claimed to be anything else. And also, he reminds me of my boyfriend, which I say about every single character that I like, but this will not change. You know me. He is dashing. He's very handsome. And, like, I like his, I don't know, I like his story. I like the implementation of him into a game as an NPC that helps you fight at certain points in the story. Also, like, look at this guy. Look at him and tell me you wouldn't sit down and take a break here. He's so chill. He's just a chill bug. I like the bug collage happening. That will probably be the stream. I haven't been able to finish Hollow Knight forever because I'm so bad at roguelikes. Losing all progress just kills my ADHD dopamine cravings brain. Honestly, my biggest suggestion, my biggest suggestion for progressing in both Hollow Knight and Silksong is you have to learn to be careful in the games. And it can sometimes be frustrating to really like either spend all of your resources or backtrack and save so frequently. But I'm telling you, as someone that has 300 hours in Hollow Knight and now I want to say 30 hours in Silksong, I have been enjoying the game. I've been getting so much less frustrated, and I have not lost a single rosary in Silksong since I started backtracking. Also, hello, welcome in Hulk Hogan the Furry. But I also understand not liking roguelikes. I will just say, if it's something you're interested in trying out again, your best friend is going to be gradual progression and being very deliberate with your progression so that you don't lose any progress you've made. And it's okay to backtrack. Like, it's okay. One thing that I'll do is once I open up a new area, if I've been going forward for a while and I haven't seen a bench, I'll go back. Even if I'm like full health or mostly full health, it's just much better than going forward and fighting an enemy that I couldn't handle and then dying. And also you practice by dying. That is true too. Is Hollow Knight a roguelike? I didn't know people considered it one. I am not the person to ask about game definitions, but I would say yes in the sense that when you die, you maintain your progress from the previous life, and you can also regain parts of your progress, and also dying is part of the gameplay loop. But I'm not sure. Maybe a roguelite, like LITE. It's not. I was gonna say I'm not sure. I'm not the expert on such things. Has anyone else not got their August prints yet? So your August print, the Marit print, actually got stolen. Not yours specifically, but all of them. I don't know if anyone saw, but the Marit prints, when they came to us, got stolen off our porch 30 minutes after they were delivered. So we had to get those reprinted. So they have not been sent out yet. They're going to be sent out at the end of the month with all of the shop sale orders. However, the July print should have been sent out, so if you're missing your July print, please email the 4-Leaf Island Gmail, which I will write down here. We've been just going through there. We pretty regularly go through and check to see if someone has sent an email. Like today, I sat down and answered a few. And if anyone's missing anything in the mail, we will happily send you a replacement. There's no reason to go without. I hope that person likes Mareep. I think that's the thing that's so sad, is who needs 500 Mareep? But you'll feel better to know that the new prints got here. I've been packing them during the day. Basically what I do is my morning routine is after I eat breakfast or get coffee, I'll put my treadmill underneath my desk or my like little walk pad, and while I answer emails or watch a video essay, I'll pack Mareep prints. Hornet print, let's go. Oh my gosh, yeah, I didn't know you didn't know, Lemmy. I've been meaning to do Hornet for a while, but I haven't been really satisfied with the quality of our illustrative skills. Not because of anything bad, just like I think that taking that time to do deliberate studies and like artwork has been something that's gone by the wayside with the workload that we've had lately. So I'd like to take some time to like actually figure out how I want to stylize Hornet and draw her, and then do the print from there. I think they're probably reselling the things they stole. I'm gonna be honest, there is a pretty big homeless population where we live. And the thing is, I'm aware of that. I understand, and I would not be upset if they had stolen things that they needed to survive. I'm only a bit sad because I'm pretty sure that like whoever stole the package likely tossed it after they realized what it was, or maybe burned it, which, is a bummer. I don't think that it's the best kindling, but if it helped them in any way, I guess I'd feel a little better about it. I'm sad because I haven't been able to draw for a few days because my arms hurt. Was it from drawing or was it from working out? It's a Metroidvania, not a roguelike, but the checkpoints are few and far between. Okay, that makes more sense. I really enjoy the exploration that the game encourages you to do, though. I like that when I go out, it actually feels like I've been venturing because there's some risk. You have to make sure that you're adequately supplied and stocked. You have to make sure that you take your time and you're careful. It makes it really fun. I appreciate the challenge that the game poses. Yeah, the stakes are good in Hollow Knight Silksong, and the challenge is something that I've missed in games. I think as I've gotten older, obviously Pokemon games haven't felt that way. Like the exploration hasn't felt risky. There are so many ways that you can stay healed while you're traveling around that it doesn't feel like you have to get as clever with it. Um, but I will say I still enjoy Pokemon, and I go back and play the older games. I just don't feel as I don't feel as challenged by them as I did when I was a kid, and that's fine because they're not made for me. They're made for kids. So getting to play Hollow Knight Silksong has been nice because it's like reintroducing the challenge of what I liked about the Pokemon games, but with a little bit more of a snappy movement. I think I like the gameplay of Hollow Knight Silksong because it reminds me of my favorite games ever, but new. Yes, I actually do want to play the games, not the Metroid, the oh, I'm blanking on the name, Harpy. You know what I'm talking about. We were just talking about them. Is it the Mega Man games? I want to make sure that I'm not like mistaking them for something else. I almost said Astro Boy, and I'm like, that's not correct. Once you get out of Silksong Brain, I need to make you play Rain World. Lemmy, you know I am really excited to play Rain World. That's one that I think that I will really enjoy personally. Chowfer, thank you for the raid. I think drawing her underneath the cloak first is kind of helping me figure out how I would want to pose her otherwise. What do you think of the fleas in Silksong? I think they're very cute. Forrest really likes them, understandably. Every time I see one, he makes me save it. Crow said, I'm really excited you're drawing Hornet because Anthrobug anatomy is something that is rarely touched on for some reason. From what I have seen, I don't know if it's different for others. No, you're completely right. And the thing is, I think that bugs are such an interesting interesting thing to anthropomorphize because there are so many ways that you can stylize them. Have a good rest of stream. I'm gonna go get some rest. No worries, Chowfer, and thank you for the raid. I have mentioned that in previous sketchbooks, I have bug character designs that I've done because I was proposing them for a short animated film for our final project in college. But I think that the way that they're done in Hollow Knight is so satisfying because it has a very cohesive aesthetic across the game and universe, but still they look like bugs. Like they look exactly like what they're supposed to. Do you have a toy house? I do. My toy house is 4-leaf, and I do sell adopts on there. I have an adopt. If I get bored at any point tonight, I might start rendering or working on one of the line works for an adopt that I plan to do, or plan to put up soon. All right. Oh, this is one of my favorite OSTs. This is the Crystal Mines, I believe, from Hollow Knight. I also really like the tracking missions in Silksong. I think it's clever. It also is very in character for her. I don't know how to describe. It just seems like it doesn't seem like something the knight would have done, but Hornet specifically seems like she would know how to track. Is the music a little quiet for anyone else? I can turn it up if you would like. I think it's a little lower for you guys than it is for me. What are adopts? Okay, so basically, when you think of character designs, like even take Hornet for example, I can hear it. Let me know if the volume peaks too much and I can turn it down if it gets too loud. If you think of a character design, right? You think of a character design that an artist makes. What an adopt is essentially is artist makes a character design, and then they say, I'm going to sell this character design. There are a few different ways and methods through which they can sell them, but selling the character design basically transfers the rights and artworks of that character over to another person. and some people get confused when I say this because they say, well, isn't it just a picture? Couldn't you just download it? And you could, but when it comes to character rights, and especially when it comes to copyright, owning the rights to a character means that you're able to use that character for your personal projects, for anything that you really so desire. So what an adopt is essentially a character design that's made with the intent to be sold. You design the character and then you put it up and say, I'm selling this character, this is what I would like for them, and people make offers on the character design. I am a character designer that has worked both in corporate settings and for personal projects. I can do, and I have in the past done customs where people tell me what they want out of a character design and then I design it for them. But the thing is, because those take a little bit more time, they're not worth monetarily doing for me as much anymore because I feel the rate that I would charge for them for a client would be unfair to charge for someone that's not in a corporate setting. So I've shifted mostly over to doing adopts now because I design characters for fun anyway, and I'm not going to use them, so I figured that letting other people have them and use them for their projects would be a lot better. And then sometimes I give them away for free too. I don't always sell them. I will occasionally do events where I give a character design away for free, or just because I felt like it. But that is just one of the ways that I make money as an artist. Squid, very cool. Would you ever do a squirrel character adopt? Honestly, I was thinking of doing a squirrel for some of the Halloween-themed adopts that we're going to do, because if you were here on a previous stream this week, you would know we made sub and follower goal, and people asked if we could do another character design stream. And what those are is I let chat decide a character, the elements of a character basically, and then I have to design and draw that character live on stream. And then at the end of the stream, I let chat decide what happens to that character. Last time we did this, people voted for a communistly owned character, so I have a feeling that that will probably happen again. I want to try and translate some of my other character designs into the Hollow Knight style. I have really wanted to draw a Hollow Knight critter. One of the members of the Twitch chat a while ago drew Hollow Knight critter, but I think that I have ideas. Oh, that was my boyfriend. Hold on. I have to put myself... I didn't realize it wasn't on Do Not Disturb. Have you ever done an alligator adopt? I haven't, no. But I think that it would be fun. It might be worth doing more reptiles. I have done a snake. When's that? Sorry, I'm new to watching streams. That is more than okay. I haven't picked a date for it yet, but it's going to be sometime in October. I have a lot of events planned out for October because originally, or really last year, I did a monster design contest. But because of time constraints, I wasn't able to do that again this year. I would like to repeat it again in the future, but I still wanted to make sure that we did some fun things this year, even if we weren't doing that contest specifically. Also, I just realized I haven't saved this yet, so I'm going to save really quick. Is there a TOS on your Toy House page for the the adopts can be used? I have a general TOS for all of my art, that's just that it can't be used for hate speech. But I will say, I know that some people can be kind of restrictive with their adopt rights. I like to think that I'm kind of loose with it. You are welcome to use the art commercially, you are welcome to put the character in a game, in a comic, you can make fan works of the character, you could sell artwork of the character. When you get designs from me, you own the design fully. I don't really have limits. I also try to make all of my characters genderless. Not in design, but like I don't decide a gender for the characters, so that's up to you. Because I think that sort of artistic expression is something that I feel should be left to the owner of a character. I am just here to make the designs. How do you do such good line work without sketching? Would it make you mad if I told you this was my sketch? I feel like that's a bingo card thing. I get asked that almost every stream. But the answer is I draw with pen in person. Like in my sketchbook, IRL, I draw in pen, and I think that helps. Also, I think that her legs actually need to be bent in more. Because it wouldn't be able to hold her weight otherwise. Maybe I could give her like a knee pad, and that would help show that this is like her knee. Because I've made her leg way too... Like, Hornet is a twig. She really does not have much on her. Gotta head out, but can't wait to see how this turns out. Thank you. Yes, this is my sketch. I'm just doing sketches to warm up because I want to practice drawing her to figure out how I'd like to stylize her beneath the cloak. Alright, that's much better. That looks more like her proportions. This is the pen and line confidence training paying off. It's a real thing to train? Yes. It is very real, and I spent 4 years in college basically exclusively drawing in pen. Also, Lag JPEG, thank you for the resub. Cage tea time. Also, thank you for the gifted sub, Lag JPEG. Really love the way you're incorporating worm shapes into her design. Yes, that was the goal. I felt like the beast part of her design, like Hera, could be seen in both her head and also kind of the thinness of her limbs. Not that the knight doesn't also have thin limbs at the end, but I feel like it's different. And then I wanted to get the kind of ridges in her armor, or like carapace on the body. Also, Team Sherry does seem cool. No problem, Critter, you're very inspiring to me. Thank you. Bought a gel pen because of you, and using it to sketch helps me a lot. I actually, someone in the YouTube chat was asking what pens I use a while ago, and I have a few that I can show. I specifically use the Precise Rolling Ball V5 Extra Fine. What brand is this? I think it is Precise V5 is the brand. And then the Sharpie S Gel pen. I can get a picture of them both really quickly too, just so that people can see. Because I think that I'm very much a visual rememberer, so I understand. I understand if other people are the same. Hold on, I can get these. Dropping the phone trying to take a picture. Alright, there we go. So if you want the pens that I sketch with, these are the ones that I typically work with. The blue one, despite being a blue pen, is actually black ink. And then I guess the other thing that I sketch with is highlighters a lot of the time, and I use zebra highlighters. I'm interested in adopts, but I don't really get how it works. I can imagine there's a lot of drama potential in artists selling characters. Ooh. In selling characters, then arguing whether their TOS are violated and what happens. There are, and the thing is, not everyone is like that. There's going to be bad apples in every bunch. But like with any sphere, or really any time money is involved, there are definitely adopt dramas, I guess. Fire art, my guy, real nice, thank you. But I think that character adopts are still really fun. There we go, I'm back again. Sorry, I hid myself so that I could get a picture of my pens because someone was asking a while ago to see what pens I draw with in my sketchbook. But yeah, basically my thoughts with it are like, there's going to be drama anytime art gets involved, or sorry, anytime money gets involved. But I don't think that means the practice of making adopts is, or even buying adopts is bad. Let's see, it'll be counterclockwise. These guys. Muji pens are great for everything. Oh, I also really like Muji pens. Although last time I got Muji pens, sadly they had dried up when I got them, finally. The reason I can't do too complex spider characters is because of my arachnophobia. Oh, I completely understand. I mean, that's kind of why I like Hornet, because even though she's a spider, she's not visibly very much a spider, so if you have arachnophobia, I feel that you can enjoy her design. But yeah, there is definitely some drama when it comes to adopt making and selling characters, or characters violating people's TOS, or people violating artists' TOS. I don't know. I'm very grateful I haven't really had to deal with that much, because most of the people that get my designs are very sweet. And also because I do have a pretty lax TOS. I haven't really had any issues with that. Do you have any tips for designing characters? General tips I can give are take inspiration from everything, not just where you think you would get inspiration for a character design. For me specifically, I collect photography, and then I try to make similar boards, or really Pinterest boards of similar images, uh, to get inspiration for character designs from. If you wait for me to fix this, I can grab one really quickly to show you. I love this song. This is Bone Bottom, if I remember correctly. I love... Bone Bottom's OST might be one of Christopher Larkin's best OSTs ever. And that's saying a lot because the guy has made some really beautiful music. Splatfest poll. What's your go-to move in rock, paper, scissors? Rock, paper, scissors? I almost always do scissors. Is there a go-to consequence for TOS breaking? Like, if someone used your design to be hateful, that would be awful, but is there any recourse for it? So there's a few different things that artists do. Honestly, one of them is just to blacklist the person, like block them and then tell people that not to sell to this other person, or not to sell to this person again. And that actually happens with commissions more than you would think. If an artist has been scammed by or like had any kind of hateful, uncomfortable, inappropriate interaction with a commissioner or another artist, it's pretty common for artists to talk to each other and like have not public facing but private blacklists or like people they don't work with. And that's both to protect that person's privacy so that they don't get like a giant hate mob going after them, but also to protect the artists themselves so that they don't feel like they have to go out of their way to like come with 5,000 forensic examples of why this person was actually evil and bad. They can just talk to an artist mutual and go, yeah, I had kind of an uncomfortable reaction or interaction with this person, or this person wound up not listening to my TOS, so just a word of warning. But the other thing that I've seen people do is actually like revoke character designs. I don't think that's the best practice because, again, you're selling the rights to a character. You can't decide like afterwards. You can't really do take backsies afterwards, even if the other person breaks TOS. So I think the best course of action there would be to blacklist the person. Just because blacklisting at least prevents them from buying again, and it also allows you to warn other designers that that person might do something similar in the future. It would be upsetting, though. Also, I was gonna get a board. Let me grab a Pinterest board really quick, because I have a few different Pinterest boards for character designs that I intend to do in the future. Or I could even just grab one that is one I already have done, so that you can see an example of how it translates to designs. I might do one I have done already, actually. I think that would be more meaningful. So, for example, the Valentine's chocolate character that I really liked when I designed, their board looks like this. And so, as you can see, there's not just clothing items here. There's clothing, accessories. I even saved boxes of chocolate so that I could pull inspiration from the patterns that are on top of the chocolate. Because I think that when you're designing a character inspired off of something, it's honestly better in terms of design to take inspiration from non-animate, like non-clothing objects than it is to just use what already exists. And I feel you'll get a more interesting, more satisfying, more unique design that way anyway. And the character design that came from that, I also don't have that file on this computer. I'll have to grab that from my other computer too. Character design that came from that is this design. It's a little blurry because it was from my Pinterest, but it's there. Oh, thank you for the pets. Thank you, Cyan. Can't stick around for the stream. Sorry. Have a great stream, and I love the Silk Song art. Thank you. But yeah, I think that Pinterest is a really solid place to start because when I design characters, it allows me to save photos without the intention of designing a character, which means that I'm saving things that I find aesthetic beauty in, And then afterwards I can put these photos together, like, and see their similarities. So I already have these pictures that I think are beautiful and I think are like really interesting to look at, and then I'm connecting them afterwards rather than going out and seeking, like, I don't know, hot chocolate dog character. And it's like, well, if that doesn't exist yet, searching for visual inspiration for that's going to be kind of hard. Using only what exists only applies to your detriment. Making new stuff entirely is joy and whimsy in our hearts. And I was going to say, it really helps you come up with more unique designs, which is something that I find a lot of people in the design sphere struggle with. And part of that is going to happen, especially when you exist around other artists and you consume other artists' work. Also, thank you for the stretch, hydrate, and posture check. I think that some parts of originality are kind of a fib. They're not. No one is 100% original forever. But if you feel you're struggling with originality, it's possible that you need to widen your inspiration pool from just other artists' works and other types of artwork and visual inspiration, like photography, fashion, and honestly, even just like product design, like objects. But also, I'm the person that stares at random objects for too long, so take that with a grain of salt. I love the shapes you use for the body. Thank you. I'm still warming up, so I feel like my strokes and shapes are a little they're a little soft, but I think I can tighten up the line work and stuff as I go. How do you choose a Sona? I'm always so indecisive choosing mine. I really want to hear your opinion. I think one part of it is understanding that it's okay for your Sona to change over time with you, and developing a character a design that changes with you over time means you won't feel as incentivized to change it every time you change. That's how, largely we've managed to stick with the cat persona for so long, because as parts of, the person I am changed, we would update the cat Sona as well. But on the other hand, it's okay to have more than one, and also it's okay to do an animal that doesn't exist, because Critter is a chimera of like multiple different animals. Well, animals real and non-real. Alright. But yeah, you can always have more than just one. That is also true too. I wonder if I can do... I think I might need to move these back further, actually. Sonas can go through evolution changes, big and small. This is very true. I always thought you were a ferret. No. Critter is kind of a creature... It's meant to be a one-of-a-kind creature. It used to be a human, and it got turned into a monster after making a deal with a witch. So Critter is the shape of a human being's soul. Or this specific human being's soul. Everyone's would look a little bit different. Alright. Hoping... I'm thinking of having the bottom of her armor carapace kind of come out in like a scalloped way. I also almost want it to resemble like rib bones. I just think that would be really cool. And I think that this also looks similar to a fencer's outfit, so... Well, hi, welcome in, Cloudly Lit Sheep. What's the plan for tonight's stream? I'm going to be drawing a hornet from Silksong, because my print club piece for my print club this month is hornet. But I had a rough idea of the print I was going to do originally, and this was the little thumbnail background thing that I painted, but I wasn't super satisfied with it, so I'm now drawing hornet to kind of warm up. Good afternoon, welcome in, Dustper. I may have made Hornet's back leg too long. We're gonna see though. I almost wonder if I should give her spines on the back. Or not. I was just thinking, I know I mentioned it earlier in stream today when I was talking about Silksong, but I was just thinking about the speed at which people are expected to consume media, and how it doesn't give us time to like really digest or sit with things for very long. I think that I felt that more, especially as I've hit my late 20s, because when I was in college, I sat with things a lot longer. Like I would have media fixations, but they would last months. And now I find that I don't really get fixations anymore. Part of that could be just because I have work, so it's harder to have time to do such a thing, and I don't really have a lot of time for fan art. But on the other hand, it feels like anytime I were to have a fixation, by the time that I was really like enjoying it and gotten the swing of knowing how to draw a character, people will have moved on from that fandom already. Not that I need people to be in a fandom for me to enjoy something, but I think the speed at which things are consumed and spit out has made me kind of not enjoy things that are actively popular as much anymore. And also, I am a pretty quiet person. I like enjoying things at my own pace. So when something gets popular and then people are ready to move on, and I'm still enjoying it, I think that would make me kind of sad. I did notice a few species Critter was based on, such as Nikomata. Yeah, Critter was definitely based off of Nikomata. It's meant to be a little bit of a Nikomata. It does get more tails as it gets older, but for now it only has 2. This is also incredibly true in the game space. Games come out so fast, and so often it's hard to take time to truly engage with each one and let it sit. And I was feeling that, unfortunately, as a streamer, because sometimes when I play a game on stream, I'll play it, and then after I'm done the stream, I'll sit there and I'll go, well, I kind of want to play more. I liked what I played, and I want to actually take the time to appreciate it and try different things, rather than just play what I know would be good for content, really. Not that I only think about that, because I think that there's a very fine balance of keeping everyone's attention span and also streaming what's enjoyable for me. But I do know that me trying and restarting a game over and over again just to see the different lines of dialogue doesn't make for very good stream content. But that's how I enjoy games. So there's become a really weird vivisection, I guess, of how I enjoy media versus how I'm meant to perform with that media, versus what I know people want to see. Critter with more than 2 tails would be interesting to see. Well, I'm happy to say that you will see that already, because I have it. This was an older doodle that I did, but I think more people should take notes when they play games, especially if you're someone who would like to have games sit with you longer. I've been thinking of doing that for No I'm Not Human on the side. I have definitely been doing that for Silksong, though. But yeah, I would... Critter, as it gets older, is meant to get more tails. I dislike how often things that impact me or I enjoy are chewed up and spit out by internet fandom side. Dapper-sama, as someone that loves mouthwashing and was deeply affected by the game, and is still affected by the game, trust me, I understand. I think mouthwashing getting the attention that it got was really nice. I think that it was nice to see an indie game succeed the way that it did, but it did make me kind of sad that what was otherwise a very beautiful story and very anti-capitalist story, very feminist story, got really watered down by it getting fandomified. And I think on one hand, more people got the message than I thought they would, but enough people missed it that it was kind of upsetting to see at times. And yes, this is Green Path. Now where do I put your... People trying to fantasize about dating the characters that are really horrible and watering down the whole thing made me uncomfortable. Like, I don't... And I was going to say, uncomfortable is a good word for it. Generally speaking, if I don't like the way that someone engages with media that I like, I just don't engage with them. Because, you know, someone who romanticizes Jimmy from mouthwashing, I have no means of knowing exactly what it is and why they're doing that and why they're engaging with the media that way. I just know that we probably won't have much in common. But I think that it does make me wonder what they got from the story. I don't know. I have very mixed feelings on it. I'm both that I think people can do what they want, but also it doesn't mean that I'll want them in my space. And also, blocking is your friend. That bug person looks cool. Thank you. This is Hornet from Hollow Knight, and now Silksong, where she has her own game. I would highly recommend playing them. They're both $20 individually, and I have 300 hours on Hollow Knight, and now almost 35 in Silksong. They are quite a lot of content for not that expensive, and wonderfully made games. And the art is beautiful, and the music is what we're listening to right now. So if you like the music we're listening to right now, that's what's in this game. I don't like how I have her holding her needle. For the first half of the game, I would screenshot the map wherever I was and take it into Minecraft to paint to draw where the collectibles were. That's so cool! I hope mouthwashing will be remembered more fondly seriously as a cult classic 5 years from now. Honestly, I think it even is to the right people already. I think that one thing that will benefit you is to step away from the way that the internet engages with something at large and to find groups of people that you can consume and analyze media with on a more personal level. It doesn't take away the fact that the loudest voices are usually going to be the ones that you hear. But ever since I started doing that more with friends, where I would talk about the things that I was interested in with them, it has meant that I feel more free to enjoy the things that I actually genuinely enjoy, and to, you know, talk about them in an adult way instead of having to walk 6 steps back from where I already am to just explain the point that I'm at. I got something to hopefully help the baby smell better. Oh, like the kitten? Also, I hope work was well. Hi, I love you. That's my fiance in chat. I haven't finished Silksong yet, since I'm taking my time exploring. I got Embrace and Void ending in Hollow Knight, so I'm taking it nice and easy before getting back to the mines. I haven't finished Silksong either. I'm very much enjoying exploring, and I don't want to go too fast. I have gotten up to the Citadel gates, and I could fight someone to get into the Citadel, but I decided against it, and I'm going to try and... There's another place you can explore. There's actually 2 ways to unlock Act 2. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do both ways, and then after completing both ways, see which one I want to do more. How do you feel about Sherma? I love Sherma. I think Sherma's very cute. There's 3 actually, but the last one is super complex. Baz, I'm curious, is it like glitch or speedrun complex, or is it something that you can actually reasonably do within the game? Because I don't mind complex. Or is it platforming? Because platforming scares me, and I don't know if I want to do that. I'm actually, as much as I love Silksong and Hollow Knight, platforming is one of my least favorite parts of the game. But I do it because I love it. Can I make fan art of the 7-tailed critter? You absolutely can. I think mouthwashing is going to hit the same level as Iron Lung, where the critical love and thought about it is going to make it age like wine. I agree. I completely agree. I feel like I can, like, hear... the sound that Hornet would make moving around. Have you considered playing Sally Face on stream? I personally love the game and I'd love to see you play it. I've seen people play Sally Face before. I might. It's something I would consider. Her skitter, Iron Lung mentioned, that's actually one I do want to play. I want to play Iron Lung on stream. Originally, I was going to play it for Halloween, but actually all of our Halloween games are already picked out, so we don't have we don't have any more Halloween game slots. Although I could play it over the summer when we do all of the ocean-themed games, because I think that Iron Lung counts, even though it's a blood ocean. I love Christopher Larkin's composition. These are so good. You have made Hornet dash dance by dashing and then... Oh, have you? Oh, absolutely I have. Every time I wait for the Bell Beast to come, I make her dance. Now I'm trying to think about what poses she makes in the game so that I can figure out how I'd want to stylize those, because I was just kind of going off the cuff here. I guess there's like her sitting down. I'll leave that though. Then you pet the Bell Beast. Yes, pets for the good grub, of course. I love the Bell Beast. That's Puppy. Actually, I think the next thing I'll do is I'll do some Monsteras, because I was really struggling with these in the sketch that I was doing. And I think that that's part of why I was dissatisfied with the sketches I was making, is that I was like not liking what I was drawing. I love when it coos. I know, it's so cute. I love the Bell Beast. It's literally a Uppy Dog. And, like, I think that when I fought it and then it became my friend, I was like, this is everything I've ever wanted out of this game. I don't want to fight the monsters. I want to become their friend. I mean, I want to fight them because the boss fights are awesome, but also I like befriending things. I remember Faris saying that because he was looking at my Monstera leaves that I drew before. They're not as even as I was making them. Like, the notches aren't tit for tat. Also, Toasty said, I know there's content creator factors you have to take into account for a lot of what you play plus post, but in an ideal world, being able to sit and watch you do long-form playthroughs for story-heavy games would be awesome. I love your analysis style, and it's a really good balance between calming and mentally stimulating to hang out doing media analysis of a quiet, slow playthrough. I don't know how to phrase it, but it feels like an epic brain resonance when we talk character analysis stream chat. Actually, that makes me happy to hear, because that is what's fun for me. And maybe what I'll do is, like, if I ever do stuff like that, I'll give a disclaimer of that, that's what we're doing. But for me, it is fun to do, like, character analysis live, and it feels kind of like a group discussion, like in class, or like in a class when, we get to talk about the characters we like, what we think their motivations were. I would really like to do that for No, I'm Not Human. I want to try and get a happy ending for that, and so I'm going to be replaying that on Monday next week. But afterwards, maybe we could talk about the game a little bit, because apparently there's quite a lot of endings in that game. Oh, my Monstera leaf looks like it got chewed up. I also think that there's some really interesting game design choices in that game. Actually, I can talk about No, I'm Not Human, but I don't want to spoil it for anyone if you intend to play on your own. So if anyone wants to play No, I'm Not Human and you don't want spoilers on the game mechanics, who is human and who is always a visitor, please say something in the chat, because I will avoid talking about it so that I don't ruin your enjoyment of the game. But there's some really neat choices that were made that I appreciate, both in terms of storytelling and also just like general gameplay mechanic. I think some of them were changes too from the demo that I really liked. I agree, those streams make me wish I could be there every time instead of living through the VODs. I mean, you're here now though. I think the hardest part about drawing Hornet is trying to get the space between her horns and the thickness of them right. One way that I like to say it is that Hornet is kind of like she's kind of like a U, like a little bunny. Um, I don't know. I always like when I draw her, I do like the gesture or like the general shape of her mask first, and then it gets pointy at the bottom. You're right about media consumption, Critter. Pokemon, for example, wants to consume media very rapidly, like Pokemon Legends EA, and it's tiring sometimes that you have to obtain a Megastone on a certain time. For example, the Megastones for the Kalos starters. Oh, I completely agree. I actually think that Pokemon is one of the saddest victims of like rapid style media consumption, and I think the thing that makes me endeared to the Pokemon fandom, because there are some parts of the Pokemon fandom that I don't love, nominally like the infighting or fans being rude to each other. But the parts of the Pokemon fandom that I really value and are really like beloved to me are the people that go out of their way to like preserve previous game events or find ways to make previous parts of the game still playable even after the company and the fandom at large have moved away from them. Specifically, like the folks that have managed to preserve old mystery gift events for Gen 4 and 5, using the DNS channel of distribution. I really like that. I think that's cool. Pokemon Go used to be so fun. Now it's the same addictive freemium stuff as any other app. I haven't played Pokemon Go for a while, so I can't speak on that one, but I do believe you. I also did like Pokemon Go. I just like walking. She's almond shaped? Yes, she is. She is very almond shaped. You know, the other thing I'm finding is I'm having more luck in drawing the Monstera using lines than I was using big blocky shapes, which is what I was trying to do when I was doing the kind of painted thumbnail. But this I think because it captures the kind of, I don't know, the more intimate feeling between leaves. It ends up looking more like a leaf than the ones I was doing that were so super clean and like the shapes were super nice and they had no edges and they were all smoothed down. People have made custom servers so people online can still play Splatoon 1 online still, and I think that that's one of the most beautiful part about game communities that is kind of hard for people to recreate, or really like corporations to recreate. The only way, actually, one of the few companies that I found that actually really cares about and likes its community of players, other than Toby Fox, because I think Toby Fox genuinely loves his players and his fans, is Team Cherry. Like, Team Cherry both is very attuned to what their fans want, but also their vision as artists. And they took their time to create a really beautifully crafted sequel to their already otherwise like polished and perfect game, with DLC and many things to do in Hollow Knight originally. Stardew Valley 2 Concerned Ape is wonderful. I was going to say I've never played Stardew, but I have heard similarly. Game preservation and nostalgic love has been so wonderful. Yeah, I think it's really neat. But I would like to see more. I would like to see more games kind of do that, where they recognize their community that likes their, or companies do that, where they recognize who plays their games and, you know, pay attention and thank them for it and make the games fun for them. I doubt that though. That is just the nature of capitalism, to chew things up and spit it out to dry. And in an interview, they literally said they couldn't stop working on it because it was just too fun. Exactly. I love the random fight themes across this playlist. I know. It's me when I'm in the boss fight of drawing the plant stem. But I know, I actually... And the thing is, I feel like I can tell they had fun developing it. Like, there's a lot of parts of the game that just feel very lovingly crafted. And I'm still only on Act 1. I can't even... I heard someone say that Act 3 of the game is, like, some of the best gaming that they've played in recent years. And I remember hearing that and thinking, well, I already really like Act 1, so I can't imagine what Act 3 is going to be like. I'm getting my ass beat. I guess I could just do her standing beneath Monstera leaves, because that could be kind of interesting, too. And work on the shadow or shading with that. We need some team to take the Pokemon idea and feel and move it away from Nintendo's grasp. I think the trouble is especially to we've talked about copyright law on stream. I don't know if anyone was aware of this like lawsuit that was moving forward that Nintendo was trying to copyright the idea, the gameplay mechanic of capturing and concealing characters in a ball. Um, and I think that one of the saddest things is that like once a company realizes that, other IP are going to take time to more lovingly develop the idea that they have decided to milk as a cash cow, they'll just use the existing system to prevent others from doing that. And it's really insidious. It's one of the reasons why I say, as much as I also dislike AI and dislike art theft and copying, I think that copyright, unfortunately, is not the devil you want to be in bed with. Um, it's just, at least it's not the one that I wish was as powerful as it is. It exists, but I don't like it. They are now trying to copyright summons. Oh goodness. Oh goodness. I think that would be really awful for games. I don't even know how that would be implemented. Or really, what I'm sure what would happen is they would just implement it anytime they felt like they wanted to kill something. I got through watching a video on that. They're definitely suing Pocket Pair because of its success, and the patents they're getting aren't actually that big of a deal. They've just got a bunch of angry eyes on them right now. I think the only reason I feel it's a big deal is that it makes me kind of sad that like all it takes is someone else succeeding for a larger corpo to decide that they are going to nuke them when, arguably, arguably, I don't think Pokemon needs much more money. They're doing pretty okay for themselves. Also, Nintendo in general makes a decent amount of money, but that's just my little 2 cents. No way, that's Jane's Silksong. They're not even suing them for things people were mad about. They're suing them over patents. Yeah. The patent system is going to eat them alive. They're going to get another suit for those patents and the copyrights to be disbanded. Okay, that makes me feel a little better. Also, I am curious about the video that you are referring to, Sandberry. Not on the same exact topic, but I actually watched a video on physical media today that I really enjoyed, and that's what got me on this topic of like media consumption and sitting with things for some time. Lemmy said, they're not fighting Pocket Pair because they're successful. They're doing it because they're owned by They are? I did not know that. Oh, I did not know that. That actually puts a lot into context. I didn't know what Pocket Pair was. I was like, oh, is it just a mobile app? Sony bought them to copyright fight with Nintendo? Huh. I can't even be surprised, honestly. I just don't even understand. It's just two big corpos biting each other's dicks off. I'm never surprised when it happens. Are we hating on Nintendo? Yeah, a little bit. And I'm saying this even as someone that likes Nintendo games. I like Nintendo at art pieces. I don't like the corporation. But I feel like that's pretty much everyone ever that likes Nintendo games, so corporations are so embarrassing. It really is the biggest of size towards these companies. Also, so hold on, I can show you my Hornets from earlier. I'm not sure if I can get these on the same as the Monstera, but we'll find out. I can at least move things around. My lady. I love Hornet. Hornet. I love her. I return. Welcome back, the Robot Tootler. Ultimately, Sony doesn't care about Pocket Pair, but they want the piece of Nintendo's Pokemon pie, and the company never fully recovered from the bad agreements they got with Nintendo over consoles back in the day. Neither of them really care about Pal World, but they do care about ruining each other's markets. It's such a fascinating world, but also kind of funny. Sorry. Funny that they would blow each other up over such silly things, but I guess it's not silly to not recover from a bad deal, but from the outside it feels like it's over nothing. It feels like Nintendo, instead of getting into lawsuits with other companies like 6 billion times, how about you work on your currently standing IP? Which is why I said patents are for corporation ring fighting, because they can't just copyright claim each other because they have lots of money to weather it. What is that?
For the cats.
Oh, to like help their gut.
Yeah, digestive health recipe.
Okay.
You sprinkle it on their food, apparently.
Interesting. Big companies fighting each other is such a slugfest that should stay away from the cottage industry. First time watching the Twitch stream instead of the YouTube stream. Welcome in, Carno. But yeah, it's just, again, it's kind of funny to watch. It's kind of sad to watch, but none of my business. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to move my Hornet doodles and Monstera doodles to the corner. And then I'm going to work on some thumbnails. Ultimately, copyright and IP are dogshit concepts and should be destroyed, God bless. You were the one that I originally came to that conclusion while talking with Lemmy. Because before I was under the, like, I was kind of neutral or just under the impression it's like, oh, they exist to protect artists. And the more and more I've seen the reality of that play out, the more I've been like, no, you're absolutely right. It's very rare that you're wrong, though, Lemmy. Also, hello, and thank you, Papitas. What software do you guys use? I use Clip Studio Paint. So, really quick, what I'm going to do... Where is my... There we go. Because this is a 7 by 5 canvas, which is what I need. But I need a square. Because I want to have a bunch of little squares so that I can do thumbnail examples, or thumbnail ideas. My wrongest opinion is that I think chocolate is just the best flavor, or sweet can be forever. I think there's some truth in that, although I don't agree. So I agree, that might be your wrongest opinion, but it's okay. Chocolate is a good flavor. Thank you for streaming after my college classes, of course. I do like to stream at night. It's a nice way for me to kind of like get my work done before I go to bed. Or get a little bit of work done before I go to bed. I was gonna say, your wrongest opinion isn't even that wrong. Also, I think that was the end of the playlist. Oh no, it's not. There's still some more. What's your favorite brush from Clip Studio Paint? Honestly, the brush that I'm using right now is one that I made, and I like that one a lot. It's not super complex or anything. It just scratches the right itch. Also, I think my canvas is like ever so slightly being covered by the border of my thing, so I'm gonna fix that. Because there's plenty of room, so there's no reason for it to be... Yeah, there's no reason for it to be covering. Watching this while playing Silksong? Oh, that's awesome. Alright, let's see. I think the biggest thing with the thumbnails is that I don't know if I want to do more of like a portrait style piece where Hornet is like a half body and then we see some plant life in the background, because I think that would be pretty, but it's been a little bit overdone for the things that I've done previously. I finally beat the Trial of Fools. Oh, in Hollow Knight? That was painful. I did that too. Alright. I really like the bug sounds that are in this playlist. Is this a spoiler-free stream? I love watching your art, but I'm desperately slow at playing games. It is, yes. All of the fan art that I'll be making for this game, I will be making for the beginning, like, 10 minutes of the game, so you will not be spoiled. I'm also pretty slow at playing games, and I'm only in Act 1 of the game, so I don't intend to spoil anything. Your streams have motivated me to continue practicing and studying my arts. That's wonderful. Hi, baby. Hi, little baby. Do you want to merp for stream again? The baby returned. Moo? Moo? I don't know if you guys can hear him. Moo? Hi. Oh my god, the microphone. He's like headbutting and rubbing against the mic. Do you know they're in there?
Do you know they're in there?
You're saying hello to my chat? He's so sweet. I'm scared he's gonna knock my iPad to its death. Little baby loves minnows and guppies. You like my hornets?
Mm-hmm.
I'm really struggling for composition though, or like what I can do for doing.
Bugs on bugs.
Bugs on bugs. We love you, kitty. He smelled the fishies.
Also, the bathroom smells so much better since... So, we brought him back, right? He had fleas. So, we gave him a bath, we gave him meds, we gave him the topical stuff, deep cleaned the bathroom, then sort of let him go. And then I've been waiting for his dewormer to come in, so we dewormed him. So, after I dewormed him, we also deep cleaned it again. New litter box, new everything. And after the second deep cleaning, it's starting to smell like normal again.
Yeah. He was just a street cat. It's not his fault he was stinky. Skong print, marvelous, yes.
Yeah, he himself doesn't smell either anymore. It's his digestive.
He farts like the devil.
Yeah, he does.
I guess the other thing is I don't know how I want to have her moving. Is this a new kitty? Yes. We found him while we were driving home from Forest Work one night. He is the kitten of a cat that I saw run across the street and was being taken care of by a lady that I ended up talking to. So he's been indoor, outdoor cat most of his life, but now he's fully indoor because we want him to stay safe.
He just lets me hold him, however. Look at this.
Just came here. Why are we talking about farts? We got a kitten, and he farts a lot, sadly. But we're working on it. We're working on it. We're getting him medicine to help his digestion.
Oh, it's not medicine. It's like pumpkin, like, powder or something.
Oh, because pumpkin puree helps their digestion.
Yeah. I don't know. It's something I picked up from Petco. If it is worms, don't worry. We've pilled him. We've dewormed him.
Yeah, so he's had dewormer. His name is Bug, although we've been calling him intermittently Bug, Bean, Jitterbug, Baby Flea, because he had fleas at one point.
Well, why are you backing off my... Okay, here, go up there if you want.
Jitterbug, what's gonna be his pee-pee wee-wee? BB. Or Habibi. I called him Habibi when we first got him. Watching your art streams while I draw is the best. Thank you, Juliebug. Floating down and exposing that armor would be cool. I'm glad that you guys like the armor that I drew. I was worried that people would think that it was too, like, fancy, and I'm like, I think it's cool. I would also like to do the Monstera leaves somewhere in the piece, because I think that would be fun. I really want practice drawing cloaks. That's the other big one, is that I feel like I don't have enough practice drawing like flowing cloaks, or at least as much as I want. She's literally a princess. She can have fancy armor. This is true.
I also don't know why he's choosing to sit like this.
He's a baby.
I know he is a baby, but he's like half on the back of your chair, half... Okay, now he's fully just sitting on the back of your chair. Don't move around too fast.
Okay. Does the YouTube stream have a delay? It's a very slight delay of like 60 seconds.
Yeah, I think that's the minimum, actually, when we were looking. Like, that there has to be some sort of delay on YouTube, but for Twitch it can only be... It could be like a second or two.
Sorry, I'm preserving versions in case I decide that I like one better than the other. We need to give Mars a cloak for practice purposes. I would love to give Mars a cloak at some point. I think that is as well as guaranteed to happen. Maybe she needs to be leaned forward a little bit more. On some Twitch streams, I've heard replies near instantly after a message, but on YouTube, no matter what, there's always a 10-second delay. Yes. She's fancy and fierce. I've asked this earlier, but have you thought about making a Hollow Knight OC? Oh, I have not made a Hollow Knight OC, but I was thinking about making Critter a Hollow Knight equivalent, essentially. Basically turning Critter into a Hollow Knight bug. The only thing is, she's not looking, like, agile enough. I think that actually might be... Is this not just the splash art? No, okay, it's not. I was like, wait, did I just recreate the splash art for her by accident? Please bugify Critter. I will. I think Critter would be a dragonfly. The only problem is I think the direction of the cloak is not going the way that it would if she was like lunging forward now. Did Harbor just meep?
No. That was a baby. He was fucking up the carpet, though.
Oh. In my mind, Critter is an arachnid of sorts. I can see that. Hold on, I can bugify Critter really quick. How old are you? Sorry if that sounds rude. It's not rude. I'm in my late 20s. Alright. So Critter, it's gonna have antennae that look like its ears, right? I think so.
What did I do with it? I wanted to sprinkle it on their wet food. Okay, well, I'll find it.
I modded Silksong because I got it on stream, and my Hornet has a turquoise cloak instead of red. Oh, that's cool. What if Scorpion has 2 tails? That's true too, because it could be ink. Hold on, let me enact my vision. Critterbug real. I am only biased towards Dragonfly because I really like dragonflies. Just don't make Critter a mantis because we all know how the mantis mating ritual ends. I actually also really like mantises, but I think Critter is more Dragonfly just because of the way that I see it moving. Also because dragonflies are often found around bodies of water, which also feels fitting for Critter to me. Bug Critter. Plus then it could wear a scarf, and I think that would be very cute. Forest Weevil? I wonder what Forest would be. Forest could be a moth. He seems like he would be something very fluffy. I join in and Hornet is Nikki. I wanted to design what I think her armor looks like, or like her Chinton looks like underneath her cloak. So that when I go to draw her... I don't know who you are, new, but dragonflies also eat mosquitoes, so I like you 10 times more now. Exactly. If you know anything about hiking, if you get a little fake dragonfly and put it on a wire and then put it on the back of your backpack, mosquitoes will leave you alone. So there's many reasons for the dragonfly choice because I really like them. Hi Critter, welcome in Mars of the Stars. If you wire it, basically like you put the little dragonfly onto a wire, like usually like a fishing wire or like a very clear wire will work. It just has to stand up so that it looks like it's flying behind you. And because of that, mosquitoes think that there's a dragonfly nearby, so they'll leave you alone. For the most part. You should still wear bug spray, obviously, but I found that that plus bug spray means that I don't get bit. I do kind of want to figure out how I could do... Because the other thing is, then the tails could be striped, because dragonfly tails can be striped too. This is adorable. Thank you. Bug Critter having a backpack to reference that. Actually, Critter, like regular Critter, uses its bandana as a backpack. It uses it as like a little pouch. This is my first stream of yours. Welcome in. We've been working on a Hollow Knight print, but then someone asked me to draw a Critter as a bug for Hollow Knight. I was like, okay, I can't resist. I love Hollow Knight. Silk Song print is perfect for my friend's birthday in December. Oh, that's lovely. Let's see, where are my... There are my thumbs. I'm just not sure... Like, I have many different ideas for what to do. Hello, chat just came from YouTube. Welcome in. What are Critter's pronouns? Critter uses... I use they, it pronouns. The Hornet one on the left kind of looks like Flygon. Oh, I see it. Maybe that's also why I like Hornet, is that I've always... Like, Flygon's one of my favorite Pokemon. What brush size and stabilization do you use? I think I'm on a 12 size brush and 12 size stabilization currently. haven't done anything much because it got 2 vaccines and my arms hurt. No, it's okay. Having days of rest is really important, especially when it comes to getting medical care. When I had to go to urgent care recently for my cough that wasn't going away. And after that, I basically just rested the rest of the day. And, it helped. It was necessary. I think the biggest thing that's flubbing me with these is that I'm not getting an interesting enough silhouette. What time do you stream? It's seriously inconsistent. I keep missing important ones like the Anthrohead study. I I was gonna say I study every single day, or I stream every single day at 6 p.m. EDT. The only time that I don't stream at that time is 11 a.m. So if you've missed them, I'm sorry to say it might just be, it might just be like not knowing when stream starts, but they pretty much always consistently start at 6 p.m. EDT. And I don't draw with a display tablet. I draw with I draw with a regular like plastic tablet. It's gonna eat me alive. What's it called when a bandana on a stick? Oh, it's a bindle. Although I just see you figured that out. Why are the comments vanishing moderated? Honestly, I think that the person just deleted their comments. I don't know if they deleted their comments or what, but I don't mind. I'm happy to answer the question. Schedules are also posted each week on Blue Sky and in the fan Discord. Yep, and on Tumblr and also on YouTube. So if you ever want to know what time a stream is, the schedule will be up every single week. Gee, I love Hollow Knight. Welcome in. Also, one sec. I am gonna stand really quick just to give my back a break. But yeah. My shoulders were starting to hurt. Unrelated but meaning to ask, is it a thing that people repost their own posts on Blue Sky? Is it an algorithm thing? I just do it in case people haven't seen it, because there are people in different time zones. So, like, for example, if I posted something at night, my time, it might be, like, the middle of the night someone else's time. So when I wake up in the morning, I'll repost it just so that people could see it if they missed it. Also, there is a fan-run Discord. Here, I can get the fan Discord if people were curious about it. Right there, I just sent the link. Thank you, honey. Just saw my boyfriend sent it to the chat there. It's like night reblogging on Tumblr so more people can see. That's exactly what it's like. I try to get in the habit of reblogging, or of not like reposting things too many times, just so that people don't get sick of seeing the same thing over and over again. Because here's the thing, I had considered that I could do some kind of leaf, like, overshadow. The problem with Monstera leaves is they're kind of random. So when you draw the underside of them, And yes, I'm not in the Discord. It's a fan-run Discord, because I don't usually like big Discords, but it's there in case you want to be friends with other people. Any tips on traditional art? I got a new sketchbook this week. It's Gravity Fall themed, and I've never really done traditional. Yeah, I think the most important thing is to genuinely just let yourself have fun and try not to put too much pressure on yourself while you're, like, drawing. When I work in my sketchbook, remember, it's a sketchbook. You're meant to sketch in there and practice. You can do complete pieces in it if you'd like, but I find it's much more... To me, it's much better for my art to just let myself draw what I feel like at that point in time. guess I could put her needle in the back. This is my first time watching one of your streams. I was wondering how long they usually go. Usually 3 hours, so we have another hour and a half. My goal for tonight is to get a pretty workable sketch for the print club piece, because I was a little perplexed on this one specifically. I think it's probably because I like Silksong that this has been such a challenge, that I want to make sure that I'm doing something that I feel the game is deserving of. And I could be more critical on my own art. I feel like I have to make complete pieces to make it do justice for how cool the actual book is. That's fair, though I can tell you that's the fastest way to not draw. Forcing yourself only to do complete pieces is like, you can have a book like that, but I would also recommend keeping, especially if you don't do traditional art very frequently, I would highly recommend keeping a actual specific sketchbook that is kind of like your scrap sketchbook, because otherwise you won't have anywhere to plan out those pieces. When I do traditional art, I very rarely just get right into the piece. I almost always have a planning phase where I start doing stuff beforehand. I think this is the Crystal Cave again. This is one of my favorite OSTs from the game. Also, welcome in Corbell Plays. That's such a struggle I have, weirdly enough. I can't really sketch and leave it. I have the feeling to finish it, and I usually don't draw that much because of it. It is something that once you get over it, you'll be able to do more art and experiment more with your art. But I do understand it. I guess one of my biggest tips for that would be to draw like memes or like draw comic doodles, because I think that comes with the expectation that you're not meant to finish them. So there is no way to polish something that's meant to look bad on purpose. Hornet Silksong drawing? Yeah. I am working on a print of Hornet. That's why I'm doing these little thumbnails. How do you fun while drawing fast? I have a friend that feels like they're going too fast to enjoy the process, but get bored when they try to slow down. I honestly think that everyone has fun at different speeds. So it's possible for your friend that it is hard for them to slow down and enjoy the process, because that's just how their attention span works. Unless you're asking because they asked for help. In which case I would say sometimes studying is like the best way to get that, because then you're not rushing to a product, you are trying to learn a skill, and it kind of forces you to slow down. You just reminded me I gotta sketch a comic idea, no better time than now. Also, Kitty Bits, thank you for the raid. Or Kitsy Bits, thank you for the raid. Hello, hello. Maybe I could do so that we have kind of a more fun line of action here. I like when Hornet jumps and like you can see her cloak flap up. Wait, was that a double raid? No, we didn't get a double raid. It's just Kitsy, but welcome in. What were you guys working on? Also, thank you for the stretch. I think finding the tempo where you enjoy and learn is what studies are for. I'm eating up all the advice. Thank you. You're one of my biggest inspirations, and I hope your stream is going well. Thank you, it is. We're currently working on trying to do the thumbnail for a print of Hornet from Silksong. And I'm feeling a little stiff in my composition right now, but I do really enjoy drawing Hornet, so it's not too much trouble. But also, thank you for the kind words, and I hope you had a lovely stream. I like doing the tiniest hops as Hornet, skipping around, hopping around, flourishing, thriving. You understand me. I'm wondering... What should I begin to study? I often see other artists like you that have such a good workflow that it almost feels like you never make a mistake when drawing. That's because when I do streams, and I do definitely make mistakes when I draw on streams, I just, I guess maybe the one thing that does a little bit of disservice is you have to remember that like I'm an entertainer at the end of the day. There are actually a lot of things that go wrong during streams, not just in terms of art, but like also like people will say stuff during streams that's inappropriate, or there will be technical difficulties, or I've had streams where I got like really awful like real life news while I was live. And part of streaming is you have to kind of figure out how to keep a lid on when that kind of stuff happens. So it may seem like I don't make any mistakes while I'm streaming my study process, but it's actually quite the opposite. It's just that I have a pretty good temperament for being live and for performing. And it's you don't see, also I guess that's the other part of the VTubers, you don't see that sometimes I'm just sitting back here going like this because I don't know why something's wrong and I can't figure it out. Um, all that said, though, I think the best thing to start studying when you want to start studying to draw better is to try and figure out what you're excited to learn. Like, for example, for me, I really like drawing oceans and water because Critter is aquatic. So, one of the things that I am almost constantly and consistently studying is water, because I don't know how to draw it as well as I would like to. Um, and so, hold on, there's another thing on this layer, I think. Um, so I have like a pretty consistent study going where I try to learn how to draw ocean water, reefs, the like. I wonder if I could draw like the moth wings. That might be pretty cool. You make correcting your drawings part of the content process. It just feels like part of the conversation when you comment on something being off. Thank you. I'm glad that it comes off that way because, like I said, sometimes behind the screen I'm like gritting my teeth because I'm frustrated that I'm not understanding why something looks wrong, and then I try to like walk through my mental process of why, why I think that it doesn't look right. I guess that's the other thing too, is that I have pretty, well, okay, it's a complicated thing, but I have a sort of positive internal self-talk, or at least I've learned to make it structured in a way that's productive. Um, and so I think that like by walking through my like self-talk and how I talk about things to myself in my head, uh, it makes what I'm doing kind of clear to you watching as the streamer instead of just watching me change the drawing hair by hair. Um, ooh, I thought I was going to delete that layer. I got scared. Now, OMG Hornet Skong? Yeah. Hold on, I'm actually gonna duplicate her. Have you played the newest chapters of Deltarune yet, and what are your thoughts about it as the game stands currently? I haven't. I got sucked into bugs. I'm sorry. I got absorbed into Hollow Knight Silksong. I have played a little bit of Deltarune, but not enough. I feel like I should tell you I've decided to try out being a VTuber. I have neither the talent to make my own model nor the funds to commission one, so I've decided to buy a cheap model on Etsy and just start from there. You're very much an inspiration to this decision. Thank you. And I wish you luck too. There's nothing wrong with starting with a model from Etsy. Not to mention, I didn't start as a VTuber actually. I started as a PNG tuber with a model that I had made with my boyfriend. Or sorry, the PNG tuber, the model that I had made for myself, and then this model I made with my boyfriend. But I think that it's pretty common for people to start out with cheaper models, and I wish you luck. please, please, at some point you gotta draw chakra. Oh, I love chakra. I absolutely love chakra. Also, is this a dumb... Sorry if this is a dumb question, but will there be Silksong spoilers on the stream? No. For the most part, I am just going to be drawing Hornet from Act 1, and specifically from the opening scene, though I will be including the wing power-up, but that was something that existed in Hollow Knight 2, so... There will be no spoilers, there will just be me drawing Hornet looking cool and awesome, because I think that she deserves it. Are you still going to do art help videos? Even when I don't learn or know how to apply correctly, I still get motivated to try? Oh, absolutely. I actually have one in the works right now. The only reason that they haven't come out recently is because I was traveling throughout all of August, so I wasn't streaming any content to turn into videos. But there is one that we did recently on helping people with their anatomy that will be coming out soon. And then another one that's not an art help video, it's just a fun video where we drew people's scary stories that I hope you will appreciate, even if it's not an art help video. But if not, that's okay. Alright, maybe? We're gonna try. Should snag Hollow Knight on sale next time? Absolutely you should. It's one of my favorite games. I've always found you as my favorite streamer since you do reply to chats and actually engage with your viewers. I wish you an amazing week. Thank you. And I try. Sometimes I'm a little slow, but I do my best to. I feel like that's the nice part about drawing and streaming is like it's kind of like a conversation. Oof. I enjoy sketching in one sketchbook, and if I like it enough, I fancy it up, cut it out, and paste in different sketchbook, which is kind of like a scrapbook. Oh, I do the same with mine, actually. What I do is, especially if I draw on a piece of paper that's not in my sketchbook and I like the piece, is I'll just glue it directly into the sketchbook. That way I can save all of the art, and since I sometimes tear things out of my sketchbook, it winds up working out in a way, too. Now, do I include the wings? I mean, it could be kind of cool to try. Actually, importantly, I need to draw on a different layer so that I can move this stuff around if necessary. Also, hello, welcome in, Lupine. What is your favorite track from Hollow Knight and Silksong? My favorite track from Hollow Knight is definitely the Crystal Mines track OST, which has come up a few times on the stream. But I really love Bone Bottom from Silksong, which is what we're listening to right now. It's so beautiful, and the strings movement throughout the song is gorgeous. Alright. Actually, it might be more meaningful to do. The thing is, Silksong has a lot of like random spikes, I've noticed, in the background. And I'm wondering if they're meant to be bones, because there are definitely bug bones throughout the games. Like, this is not unheard of. I'm trying to convince my friend to read Leica's Comet. What should I say? You should say that it's a comic about recovering from childhood trauma and about the adult part of you helping the child part of you through the things that the child part was unable to process on their own. And also it's about sci-fi and gay people and furries. Okay, I think that was officially the end of the playlist. Yeah. But it's okay, because now we have Silksong OST. Alright. Meowdy passing by, but I hope everyone is having a nice day. OST is original soundtrack. It's basically a way of like shortening just saying soundtrack, because not all soundtracks are original. But also, hello Niazer, welcome in. Yeah, I love choral chambers. I think I'm gonna not put too much detail in the background since this is just a thumbnail. God, it's such a beautiful OST. Do you have a drawing playlist on Spotify? I don't, but that's because typically I try to match the drawing. I try to match what I'm drawing to the music that I listen to, and what I draw is very different from day to day. Alright, so the cool thing is, oh, I actually got my friend to read Leica's, and I had actually forgotten. I very much enjoyed it. Oh, I very much enjoyed it, and I had to share. Oh, thank you. You'll be happy to know it comes back tomorrow. There's going to be a new episode on Webtoons tomorrow, and there's going to be a new page of Leica's tomorrow. You're so powerful that for that my stream listened to is the same 10 albums I have on lock. I think that for me, music, I mean, you know, because of the synesthesia thing, and also for other reasons, like my music taste varies greatly from day to day. And they are good albums. You also have very good music taste. Wait here, another 10 Dochi songs from the Frog Croak stream? No, exactly, like Lemmy has immaculate taste, so it's okay that it's the same 10 songs. Because they're all good songs. How far are you? Just curious. So I am only in Act 1, and I've been playing through an area above Greymoor in Act 1. That's all I'll say, is to avoid spoilers for people that don't want to be spoiled. You know what's funny is I just drew this whole composition. I don't know if I like it. It's okay, this is the process of making prints, though. Like a tomorrow, it's like a dream. Dude, I'm drawing a YouTube banner, but the changes in aspect ratio are so different. Based on end device, any tips? I have found making a piece like it's going to be a full piece and then just cropping it and having the multiple different crops present on the stream helps. So for example, hold on, I have to find a picture. I'm going to bring up an example that's not my art, but is art that I like nonetheless. So for this specific piece, if I were to get a little red box, let's say while I was drawing this piece, the full crop might look something like this, the long crop might look something like this, and then the very, very itty-bitty crop might look something like this. Each of these crops is still, like, pretty good. It's just about figuring out where the crop is going to focus. Also, I didn't realize this was just choral chambers. I want the full soundtrack. Oh my gosh, that area was rough for me. I shan't speak any more of it. Yeah, it's been kicking my ass a little bit. To my knowledge, OST is used for a collection of songs that are entirely and specifically for a piece of media, where a soundtrack can include pre-existing songs. Oh, that makes sense, Toasty. I've never heard that before. But honestly, that completely tracks. Your thumbnail is so beautiful, I make mine ugly on purpose. I try to make it clear so I can tell what the areas of space are and what's meant to be in each of them. You know, so like what's foreground, what's background. The problem is, I think my compositions lately have been kind of... I like the background, actually. Ironically, I think the background is the most interesting part of this because it has very organic, mossy shapes, which is what I was going for. But my compositions have been, like, really displeasing me lately. Like, I haven't felt satisfied by them. I think because I'm using a lot of head-on shots, I'm not doing a lot of, like, foreshortening or anything. Which I would benefit from doing. The multi-tailed critter? Yeah, it was something I drew a while ago. I wonder if I, instead of doing the wings, this is also, I really love this OST. The entire OST of Silksong is phenomenal, though. Imposter syndrome? Not so much. I think that it's natural as you develop as an artist for you to start to dislike the work that you make, but that doesn't mean that the work you're making is bad. It just means that you are stale. Like, you need to learn a new skill so that you can learn new things to draw. Because if you did the same thing forever, it would get kind of boring. Not just for people to look at, but also for you. I don't typically think of my audience when I make art, which sounds like an insane thing to say when I when I do stream, but I think art and streaming are not the same thing. I think of my audience when I stream because I'm entertaining, but when I make artwork, I make it largely for my own development and entertainment. So the second that I start to get stale or I feel like I'm bored of the things that I'm drawing, subject matter, I'm like, okay, it's time to learn something new. Okay, wait, I'm gonna skip the boss fight theme. I also think specifically your design of Hornet would fit in a dynamic angle. I was thinking that too. I was thinking that. Mr. David Lynch said something very similar, and I have thought about it forever. I heard someone say he's directing dreams now, and I think of it often. I'd like to start drawing backgrounds, but I have no idea where to start. Do you have any tips or suggestions? May I possibly do a stream breaking down how I study backgrounds at some point, and then I can answer it a little more in depth, because there's a few different things that I've used to help me study and create backgrounds, but I feel like I am pretty locked in on doing the print right now, even if I'm displeased with how it looks so far. I wonder if I just make her bigger. I will knock this back and erase it like 5 billion times, but that's the beauty of doing art. He's directing dreams now. That's so sweet. I think that, like, I don't know. Anytime we lose an artist or a writer that I admire, I like to think that they're in the beyond, making our unreality for us now to consume. Maybe not consume, but to experience. There was like little flying bugs at the beginning that were pretty cool. I might include those. Probably gonna use your streams as background when I do assignments. That's awesome. Welcome in. What do you think of the difficulty in Silksong versus Hollow Knight? It's okay to ask without spoiling. So far, I noticed Silksong has better QOL upgrades. I don't know what QL... Oh, quality of life upgrades. I completely agree, actually. People were talking about how difficult Silksong was, but considering how strong Hornet's healing is and how quickly the game progresses your skill set, I actually found that I struggle less in Silksong than I did with Hollow Knight, and the gameplay feels a lot snappier and more satisfying to me personally. But I also know that a lot of people that were saying that have not played Hollow Knight, so they don't know... They're talking about from the standpoint of games in general, and Hollow Knight and Silksong have just always been very, like, challenging games. That's part of what makes them fun. Those flying bugs when walking over to the first location are there every time you pass the area. Friends to me, visiting me. I want to know if you can get them in the Hunter's Journal. Not that I just want to kill poor random innocent flying bugs, but I do like getting everything that I can in the Hunter's Journal. Well, see, now you can't see her hand, and that kind of annoys me. But I do like this, like, spin of the cloak. I think that's pretty nice. Although I guess when you see Hornet jump, she doesn't really show her hands, does she? She shows one. Yeah, it's not common for both to be visible, though. You can get their species in the journal. Okay, does it require killing them, or is there a way to mercifully register the little guys? Her cloak is very billowy looking. On yesterday's stream, I put the stream on and listened to it like it's a podcast. You'd be surprised, there's actually a lot of people that do that. It's kind of nice. You know, the other thing I realized I could use to fill out the composition is silk. And I'm not sure why I hadn't done that yet. It's literally in the name. It's fine. I can't do it when I'm at work. I do it when I'm at work and can't chat. That's how I typically listen to other people's streams, because I'm usually working during the day. See, now I'm wondering if I need to make her bigger, because she's not most of the canvas. Oops. Like something more like that. It's still not as dynamic of an angle as I would have liked, which I'm a little frustrated by, but it's better than what I was working with before. It has more flow to it, which I appreciate. You didn't silk your song, I didn't. Now, I do almost wonder if I could flip, because I do want to show the armor design that I did. It feels kind of remiss to have designed the armor and then not included it. So I think what I'll do is I'll do one of these, where I draw her underneath, and then I'll flip the cape up instead. Coming back after cleaning, question about Silksong. Do you need to play Hollow Knight for the background knowledge, or they kind of stand alone? I don't plan on playing Silksong first, I'm just asking out of curiosity. You can absolutely play them independently, but I will tell you, for enjoyment's sake, you will much more enjoy Silksong if you play Hollow Knight first, because there are lore things and also just playstyle things you'll get better at by playing Silksong first. Hold on, I'm skipping the Bell Beast OST. Actually, I'm just going to go back to your posing video. Also, I have a question, Critter. I'm trying to do a Meet the Artist, and I want to do it without just plain standing pose. Do you have any tips? Yeah, the posing video would definitely be your best friend. Also, doing like a little dramatic stick figure before you start your piece, honestly, is much... Like, that's one of the reasons I draw so tiny when I do thumbnails, because I find this is much more effective than trying to do a full piece with huge brush strokes. Oh, what if I had her, like, holding her cloak? Right? Do you see the vision? Because as it's flapping up, she would want to keep it on. So that means you would get, like, this part of the body. Alright. And then this can have, like, a gripped fabric look to it, and I think that'll look really fun. And then I can get, like, kind of a billowing cape effect, where she's pulling it. I think this is Marrow? No, this is Deep Docks. That actually makes sense. It has a very similar sound. Now, I know it is just the same composer, but it has a very similar sound to City of Tears. If this was said before and missed, I apologize, but apparently your ARM studies have been marked as potentially mature content by Tumblr for some reason. Apparently, anytime Tumblr sees anything that resembles human anatomy, it marks it as mature. I really don't know why, and it kind of frustrates me, especially because as an artist, I do art, and I'm gonna do art of human figures. I got gifted a sub, thank you, Gifter. I was gonna say, I'm not sure who gifted, but thank you to gifting to Bearcliff. But all that said, it's not the first time art of mine has been marked as mature on Tumblr that was very much not mature. It's one of the most frustrating things about the site and its poor moderation. I don't know if there's even a way for people to, mark that something's been false flagged, though. Possibly because it detects human anatomy in general. I was wondering, I can't imagine that someone had marked it. In a million years, I'm trying to imagine what they possibly could have seen and been like, this is mature art. And I'm just like, it was ARM studies. Also, hello, how are we today? Doing very well and drawing Hornet. So I'm gonna make the background disappear just for a moment so that I can see what I'm drawing a little more clearly. She's so beautiful, my baby. That's Tumblr for you. I had a photo of a parrot get flagged as mature once. It's just so silly. It doesn't take away from the fact that trans femmes especially are absolutely targeted by the site and the people on it. There's a lot of people that will false flag trans femme people's posts because they know that the site's moderation is dog shit, so there's no way for them to get it unflagged. It's just frustrating. This is Lace's fight, I think. Now I'm wondering if I need to make the cape kind of come onto the canvas more so that Hornet's not being cut off. Especially trans women of color. There we go. I just needed to figure out how to make it look like it was flipping up. Yay, stream, welcome in, vampires! Alright, so the fun part comes now, because now we get to do the approximate colors for it. So... not that layer, this layer, this layer, and this layer. So what we're gonna do, what's the Monstera for? I was thinking of having Monstera in the piece, which honestly I might still do. I'm just gonna blow this up. I might reuse the drawn Monstera leaves and just replicate them in the piece, because they're drawn perfectly fine. Alright, so let's get some colors down. What's the song? This is Lace's fight from Silk Song. So if you look up lace fight theme from Silksong, it should come up. Oh, wait, that's not her cloak. It's also a very fun fight to do. I think that's the biggest thing that I've noticed with a lot of the Silksong boss fights, is that even the ones that kind of kick my ass a bit, I have fun doing them. Now I wonder if I could tighten that loop a little bit. I probably can't. But it might be neat and then have this kind of like a lasso around the foot. No, I like what I have. Hi Critter and Minnows, I haven't joined stream in so long. Welcome in, Deity Gold. Alright. So... And the good thing is now I get to show off the armor that I wanted to draw for Hornet, because I was kind of sad that I wasn't able to do that at first. So, any favorite bosses? Yes. One of my favorite boss fights so far has been the Widow. And again, I'm trying not to spoil too much because I don't want to spoil anybody. But the Widow was my favorite boss fight. I think it was the most fun. It felt the most energetic, and when I beat it, I didn't have like that sense of frustration that I have had. I was almost sad that the fight was almost over. I was almost sad because the fight was over because I was having so much fun. Really like the posts and forums. This is nice to look at. Thank you. Critter in chat, please send me your energy. I'm finally starting to write the outline for the prologue of my webcomic. Wait, that's awesome! And I send you luck. These sketches look so cool. Thank you. But this has been what we've been gradually working towards tonight. Now, how do they usually color Hornet underneath? She is usually just like a dark black. I wonder if I color her like a gray and then I use black to shade, that'll work and have a similar effect. Is Widow the boss that's super easy to skip just by buying the simple key early? I don't know. I haven't skipped any of the bosses, but it might be. And like I said, I don't want to spoil what the Widow is because I don't know how far everyone is in the game. But I really liked the fight. Alright, wait, what is this fight? Oh, okay, this makes sense. I also like this one. I really liked Sister Splinter. She really annoyed me until I realized the way to beat her was to just charge and needle throw every single chance that I got and just stop healing. And then I enjoyed her fight. Then it was fun, because then I could just, like, rage at her. But the first time I tried it, I was a little miffed. I was, like, mad, and I couldn't figure out why... I couldn't figure out how to fight her because of her lackeys that were coming. Are you just listening through the OST? Yes, we listened through a Hollow Knight OST playlist first, so now I'm listening through the Silksong OST. Isn't Lace the skippable one? Right, okay. And so no, I don't think you can skip the Widow. Lace has a unique interaction if you skip. Interesting. You gotta bait into her lackeys. Actually, what I was doing is I was using my needle throw, and I just let them all line up, and then I would needle throw at her lackeys and her at the same time. And one needle throw will kill the lackeys, which is useful because they are annoying. Sister Splinter is one of the few bosses I fought where I saw using tools as the immediate best solution. It probably was, but I was getting so mad that I just started like mashing anything that I could. And again, that ironically wound up being what worked. And so then I won. I don't even think that I got like gamer rage. I think what happened was just that I was trying to fight too cautiously and then had to come to terms with the fact that I was fighting too cautiously and I didn't like it. But then it wound up being what helped me win. I think this is the Marrow OST. Actually, no, this is Greymore. Bone Bottom, I feel like, is very recognizable. You can't get to the Citadel without beating Widow. I don't know if there's another route. Yeah, I was going to say, I think Widow is important, specifically just because of the path that she unlocks. The way you draw the cape is satisfying. Thank you. I drew a lot of Hornet in college. The birds I hate. Greymore birds. They made me evil. When I replay the game, I'm 100% going to see if I can skip Widow. I'm curious. Like I said, I like that fight, so I don't think I ever would, but... Okay. And what we're gonna do is use black to shade. This has got to be a boss fight. Yes, it is. It's y'all's favorite region. I like Greymore the most. I really like... Oh, what is it? The forest. The forest that's right outside of Belhart. Hi, would like to start doing art trade, but I don't know where to start. Any recommendations? Honestly, if you post on social media that you're interested in doing art trades, other artists will probably like respond that are also open to trades. I personally don't do art trades, if you were asking for myself, but I know plenty of people that do and are interested in doing them. I just got here and she's silking it. She is silking it. Going to Silk Song and straight up silking it. Sorry, I'm touching up the colors like hair by hair. I'm gonna start playing Silk Song alongside stream. Good. Mine is Belhart. I love the things that you can do with there in Act 2. I haven't gotten there yet, so I'm excited to see. Belhart is really pretty, though, I'll say. I've been enjoying, I've been enjoying going back there and, like, seeing it kind of grow and fill out with NPCs. So I think the important thing for this is going to be deciding background colors, because Hornet, as the subject of this piece, I really want her to stand out. And so I'm gonna do... You know, the other thing that has struck me about this OST is that it's very reminiscent... Ooh, it's very reminiscent of the of Kevin Penkin's compositions. And I love both, so it's not a surprise, but I've been really enjoying them. Backtracking is so good in Silk Song, even though Act 1, literally if you go back to the previous location, there's most likely something there. Yeah. Alright, so... other thing is, I think maybe this is too saturated. Well, honestly, I kind of like that it was saturated. No. This is Widow's OST. God, this is such a good fight. I remember the entire time I was doing it, I was just like, I was like grinning. I was like, oh my god, this is awesome. The movement upgrades make backtracking quite fun too. Yes, that too. So the other thing I'm going to try and do is kind of incorporate... That's probably better. And then what I could do is use some of these colors up here to paint, like the hills. But then I'll even use some hue difference to keep it interesting. Okay, nice. The only trouble is I'm not really sure what to do for the crags in between. I know that they're usually pretty gray. I think they're like this color gray. And then this. Okay, yeah, that's probably the best way to go about it. Troubling though is that they start to get the piece starts to get washed out because I'm using grays now. So maybe what I need to do is have the moss get lighter as it goes down. Even though I'm not into the Hollow Knight fandom, I'm so hyped up to get this print. Thank you. I really like it. I'm enjoying working on it so far. You know what? You know what? Hold on. I'm gonna zoom out. This is where Lasso Tool is gonna be your friend. And then we're gonna do... Wait, hold on, not that area. I messed up a little bit, that's okay. Get out of here. Okay, right. And we're gonna grab some more. I'm so hyped to see how it turns out. I'm loving it so far. Thank you. Okay, cool. I actually might go more of like a lime green. No, I think I need to do it around Hornet, actually. Well, no, I like how that looks. Oh yeah, that's like a little bit of added depth that definitely needs to be there. Oh, Critter, I haven't turned in for 5 ever. Welcome in, Vixune. My husband is excited for this one. Oh, I'm so glad. Alright, hold on. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to color the silk really quickly, because I think that adds a lot to it. I'll just erase it over there. Just listening to the music is making me hyped to play Silk Song. I gotta finish my first one before it, though. No worries. Alright, wait, I actually don't think I... No, this is Sister Splinter, isn't it? Yeah, I knew. I recognized immediately. I was like, I've heard this OST before. Okay, so the other thing we're gonna do is we're gonna grab Hornet's head color. And it's gonna get kind of bluer and darker as it gets to the bottom, I feel. So it'll make for an interesting piece. Are you gonna paint over this, or is this just the concept doodle? This is just the concept doodle, and I'm gonna use this to do the line work over, and then I'm going to render similarly. I'm just kind of getting the colors down as I go so that it's a little easier when I get to the concept part of things. But I think that I'm enjoying this quite a lot so far. Sister Splinter's music is the best part of her fight. It's still awesome to fight her. Let's play chronologically? Yes, it is. Music is crazy. Like, what the fuck are these bugs up to? So much. Literally everything. Alright, so here's where I'm gonna fib and cheat a little bit, right? Never forget, I drew these, so I can use these now however I please. They're my leaves. It's free real estate. Okay, okay. And then... Hold on, this guy's got to go in this folder. It's free leaf, exactly. No object to transform. That's what you think. Okay, so... I think we're gonna have to make the stem to this guy like come more like this, but honestly I don't even think you'd see the stem, frankly. It's literally free leaf. So all of the leaf studies were worth it. Okay, and then we can make everything that's outside of the box disappear. And actually wait, first... No, yeah, that's good. No object to transform, set in the tone of that Hollow Knight dialogue. Yeah, this is going to be a print, actually. This is going to be a print. It will be in my shop. I do this for Print Club once a month, where I let people vote on what they want me to turn into a print. And then I send it out to all of the members of the Print Club at the end of the month. I am a little behind, because this was actually last month's print that I was just late on. But I got ill for, like, literally 3 weeks. I was in bed sick, so I was struggling to draw much. But I'm better now, which I'm glad, because I really hate being sick and unable to draw. Drawing is, like, everything to me, so... Is this Hunter's March? That actually explains everything. Interesting that Hunter's March comes this late chronologically. I have a feeling that Hunter's March is not meant to be played until much later in the game. I'm gonna grab more of the same leaf, I think. My leaves. And I reference them from this photo. So I was drawing from a photo reference. But now I'm just reusing the leaves I already drew, because I already drew them, so might as well use them. Now, the only problem with these leaves being here is that it kind of, like, takes away from the silk being in the foreground. But I think what I might do is redraw the silk that's here so that I can have these leaves as kind of like some foreground set dressing. But also, yeah, what were you guys doing for stream? There are leaves that look like that IRL, but I don't know if they're in the game. They're not. I just wanted an excuse to draw Monstera because I think they're beautiful. And I think that they would make for good set dressing for this piece specifically. Where? Oh, I guess you got merged onto the same layer. I didn't realize that. Song Silk, my favorite entry in the Night Without Inside series. Big question, how old were you when you started getting really into art, and how much time do you spend on art daily? Excuse me. I've been drawing since I was pretty young, like 4, and I draw anywhere from 4 to 10 hours a day, which is a really big gap. But it's because some days I'm not in the house, so I can only draw when I get home at night. All of this to say, I feel like this is not a good reference point for like how you know how much time you should spend on art, but that's because art is my full-time job. I love the way you do line art. Thank you. Although I will say this is just the sketch currently, but I do also like my lines, so thank you. So long. I will say also remember, because this is my full-time job, I also write a comic, and that takes up a lot of my time because comic pages, the whole page can take anywhere from like 8 to 9 hours. And you know, there's a page every single week, so if I'm working on that throughout the week along with other projects, then that's a lot of drawing. And that depends on the complexity of the page. I am excited though, because my webcomic comes back tomorrow from its little brief hiatus that it went on. But I very much needed to work on this print, although I'm liking this a lot better now than originally. My concept for this print was this, and I just think this one felt kind of flat. I also felt like the leaves were not looking the way that I wanted them to look, so in comparison I'm much happier with this one, I think. I think the only other thing I might do is add a dynamic light source to Hornet, like hold on, let me grab these spikes. They're not supposed to be on that layer. I don't want to start a comic. It seems like it's so much work and commitment. It is, but I've also been with the same person for 5 years now. So 5 years of a comic is about as long as my relationship has been too. And to me, I think that the commitment is comforting. It's like something that I can come home to at the end of the day. It just depends on what you want to do though. Different things comfort different people. My assignments are finally done. Congratulations, Oscar. I also have commitment issues that I could also contribute to it. Yeah, I mean, that's fair. I don't know. I've always wanted something that I could come home to, but I'm very picky. I think that there's a difference between commitment issues and being picky, because if you give it, you should be selective about whatever you put a lot of time into. And it took me years to find the person and the thing that I wanted to put my time into, but now that I found it, it's comforting. All right. So what I'm thinking of doing is having a very like harsh dynamic light source where she's leaping out from underneath leaves. So like half of her is in shadow and half of her is not. It would be fun because I think it'll imply like a leaf cover above her, which will be nice to look at. I don't like being locked into something. I want everything to be flexible. Add another. This is just this line art to the counter. Yeah, it happens often. I don't mind it. I think it's kind of funny, honestly. Excited to sink my teeth into something and come home to it for a real long time. A new member of the system. She is falling. She is falling. It's meant to be like she's leaping down from above. A lot of Hornet's movements are like leaping down from heights and then dashing, which is very fun. It makes, like, I think one of the best parts about this game, and part of the reason that I come home, like part of the reason I calm down and play it at the end of the day is the movement of the character is like very, very fun and very satisfying to play as. So I wound up enjoying myself and enjoying exploring because of that specifically. This has got to be the judges' fight. Oh, this is Blasted Steps. Okay. I knew I recognized this. I'm much more satisfied with this than what we had to begin with, though. Silksong is the only reason I come home. I didn't realize she had a down dash until I down dashed directly into spikes. I found it out. You know what else you can do that I didn't realize? If you dash and slash at the same time, that was something I think you actually had to unlock in Hollow Knight. Or there was a dash and slash you had to unlock. But in Silksong, if you dash and slash, you can hit twice really quickly in succession. I don't know how else to describe it other than just try dashing into an enemy and slashing next time, because it is really satisfying. And I have yet to actually like get hit while doing it, which is part of the reason obviously I don't usually dash towards enemies. But I needed to do it a few times for navigating. So here's what I'm gonna do. This is the judge fight. I think I will skip this one just because I don't really want to listen to this. So... it doesn't make sense to have her cloak... actually, that shadow makes sense, so I'm leaving that. We're just so badass. Playing her makes me feel badass. That's one of the reasons I love her. I'm so glad to have a cool girl character. Like, do you know how long it's been since I've had a girl character in a video game that, like, I was excited about and I didn't feel like was being mistreated by the creators or the plot? Or, like, I don't know. It's sad to say that still, like, a lot of the video game industry doesn't really respect women. It's not a surprise. Are you gonna play Metroid? I want to. I played Metroid Zero a little bit when I was younger, but it was a friend's copy that they lent to me, so I never finished it. I think it was Zero Mission. Have you gotten to the point where she becomes clothesless? Yes, and I think it's funny, she's literally like a stick. Or I haven't gotten there, but I've seen it. No, Deltarune is actually a really good example of a game where I think that the creator cares about women. I was going to say, the only reason I wasn't including Deltarune is because that's it. The characters aren't the protagonist. But I think that Toby Fox loves women more than anyone else I know. And in a way that makes me, like, feel like a kindred spirit with him. I love Toby, though. I more so meant, like, protagonists that you could play as, though. I like her not being a silent protag. Her dialogue adds so much charm. No, and I love how she likes cute things. Like, she's this very cool, hardened, like, seasoned knight warrior, and then all of her, like, Hunter's Journal entries are like, it's soft. I wish I could touch it. I can't touch it. It has spikes. And I'm like, I love you. I appreciate what he said about Alphys and Undyne during his anniversary stream. I was going to say, and Toriel. I love, like I said, he loves women so much. Critter, you play as a badass in Metroid, you need to know this. Samus is so cool. Oh, I fully do. Well, that's what I mean when I say it's been so long since I got to play as a cool woman. And I was including Samus, like, because it's been a while since I played Metroid. But I feel like Metroidvanias pretty regularly dole out the cool lady characters. Possibly part of why I like them. Also, I'm not liking this undercurrent color. I think I need to make it like a little grayer. Yeah, that's better. So here's what we're gonna do. Harbour. It's not bedtime. I think having, like, the leaf pattern here and here Harbor says it could be bedtime in a beautiful world. He's getting earlier and earlier with it too. Like, he used to scratch the chair at 10 p.m. and now he's doing it at 9, and I'm like, dude. Toby's care for women versus fandom being fandom. What's so funny too is he is still really kind and loving to the fandom. Like, I genuinely admire how kind Toby is to his fandom and to the people in his fandom that like to make things. I think that any sourness that I have towards the Undertale fandom, not understanding its characters and like mistreating its girls, is only softened by the fact that like I hope they'll understand someday, and that, you know, Toby loves them. So I want to be patient. Go make 500 skeletons. I smiled very wide when I heard that. I was like, there's going to be a teenager that's so happy right now. There's going to be someone that was a bullied teenager that's going to be so happy right now. Also, I'm trying to, like, get this leaf cover look. Minnow Choir. I am really enjoying working on this, but I might need to go lay down, actually, because my chest is still kind of hurting. But that said, I will be drawing again tomorrow. If you would care to come and join. I'll be working on furry name badges, which is just another of the to-do list things I need to get done. So I think that's where I'm going to end it. But I have really enjoyed working on this so far, and I'm excited to keep going on it because I like how it looks. That said, let me move us over to the ending soon screen. And I'm going to see if there's anyone I want to raid into. Basil Wolf is doing art, and Maple is streaming. Let's raid Basil Wolf, because I don't think we've raided Basil before, and I can raid you into another art stream. But anyway, thank you so much, and I will see you tomorrow, or I'll see you when I see you. Can I get another yeehaw? Yeehaw! And ciao!